Hello everyone, welcome to yet another tutorial. Today we will be working on the spine for the character. In the previous class we worked on the hips and we were able to get this hip movement, and today we are going to look at how to work on the spine. So you will be able to create this movement for the character. The character can move side by side. You can even select this one and then you can bend the character front and back. You can bend the character sideways. You can even bend the character from top sideways, and you can also rotate the character sideways. Okay, so we will look at how to create the spine bones and do the controls for the spine. So I'm going to open the file where we left last class, which was this one. You can see that this is where we were at the last class. Okay, so I'm going to go and save scene as, and I'm going to name this as file number 3. So we'll go to the side view and go to skeleton, create joint, and I'm going to click on the hip joint here, and then I need one joint very close to the hip, and then I will create one here, one at each line of my model, and one at the end. Okay, and you can see that I created the bone slightly on the back side. That's how our bones are. Our spine is located at the back. So I can go to select hierarchy and make the joint size true. Okay, so let us look at the front side. Point true. Okay. Select hierarchy. Point true. Alright, so this is our I'll also make this point true. This is the hip joint, and then there's one joint above that, and each joint is approximately at the line, and then it ends at the top here. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, in the side view, we will go to skeleton, IK spline handle, go to reset tool, and we're just using everything default, and we will click on the first joint that we created, and then click on the end top joint to create the IK handle, and then I will name this spine. Alright, we will also name the joints. So joint 1, can just add a spine text in the front real quick, and it's a good idea to name everything. Takes a little bit of time now, but if you want to find something later on, it becomes easier. Okay, so we have, if you go to, we can hide this now. So these are our bones, and we can go to show joints, and this is the curve, so we'll also name curve spine. Alright, and now we're going to right click and click on control vertex and select these two. I will also hide I can't, so only the curve is visible. So these top curves, I'm going to go to deform and create a cluster. Then I can move this cluster, and when the cluster moves, the curve moves, and when the curve moves, the joints move. Okay, so I'll go and create one more. Go to deform cluster, and I'm going to name this lower spine cluster, and then this one is upper spine cluster. Alright, so now the clusters are done. We can bring our joints back in, and now we will create some controls. So I'm going to create a circle, and we snap it to the hip joint, and I'll make it smaller so it fits inside our main control. Okay, and I will duplicate it, Shift D or Control D, and snap it to the middle of the bone somewhere, and duplicate it and snap it on top. Okay, the one in the middle, I will scale it and do it like this, just a little different design. So this one is called upper spine control. This one will be called lower spine control, and this is called middle spine control. Alright, now the cluster. Upper spine cluster, we will link it to the upper spine control. So I'm going to middle mouse drag and drag it here. Okay, then the lower spine cluster, I will drag it to the lower. Okay, so when I select this one and move, this joint moves, and if I select this and move, the top joint moves. Now what I want is that when I rotate this, this rotates. So I'll select this, select this, and parent it. So now this can be rotated. Alright, now this will be parented to this. This will be parented to this. So when I move this, this moves. When I select this, this moves. Now we want the hip joint to move when we move this. And we don't want this to happen. Okay, so what we can do is, we will look at where the curve is. See, these are the spine controls. And then the spine curve, we need to drag it outside. And then when the spine is moved outside, that problem is solved. Okay, so now when we do this, our hip is not connected to this one. So I'm going to select this one and shift select the hip, and we'll go and create a parent constraint, and we're going to say edit, reset settings, and apply. So now that hip joint gets connected to that. Okay, so we can move the hip sideways, front and back, The middle one will rotate the spine, and then the top one will rotate the spine. Now the problem is, and to understand this problem, what we are going to do is select this, and we'll go to skin, unbind skin. We'll select this and edit, unparent, and even the neck, edit, unparent. So now we have the skin not affected. I'll select the hip, shift select the skin, and go to skin, bind skin again. So now you can see that our character is moving this way, moving this way, moving this way. That is fine. This one is rotating fine. Here is rotating fine. We're not going to do this, but we can do this, which is working fine. This is fine, but this is not working. Okay, so we'll try to fix this one, which is the rotation Y of this. And then we should have gone to freeze the transformations, which I did not do. So modify, freeze transformation, hit the G key, edit, delete by type, history, G. Okay, so everything is working fine, everything is zeroed out. So that is it. So now we are going to connect the twist of our hit the 4 key. This one has a twist. Okay, and this twist is rotating the character. So this twist needs to be connected to this. So we'll go to Window, General Editor, Connection Editor, and we'll reload that twist on the right, and then we'll select this and reload left, and that is rotate Y, and we'll connect it to the twist value. Okay, so now this is also fixed. So that concludes our spine rigging. We have created several controls for the spine, and then we have created enough joints so that you can get a nice clean bend. We can reconnect this to the bone or somewhere, but we will do the head rig next class and then finish it off. And then we have already looked at how to do the hands, so you can watch that tutorial and create the hands and then connect it to the spine. So that would conclude our character rigging class, but I will go through and create the hand rig and connect it, and then I'll also do the head and finish it off so you can follow along. Alright, so thank you very much for following, and all the links to all the tutorials will be in the description, so you can look at that. Thank you.